5 years old gentleman, a diabetic, came with class 2 angina. His LV function is well preserved, and we have done an angiogram which showed a proximal and ostial LED very tight lesion, and his distal circumflex has got a total occlusion after the OM3. And there are retrograde collaterals coming from the ipsilateral side from the first septal and the OM2. The strategy here is to have a 2-vessel stenting. First, the LED proximal stenting with ostium with a drug-eluting stent, and staged PCA for the circumflex CTO. We have already completed the LED stenting 1 week back. The staged PCA to the distal circumflex. The strategy here is a 7 French system femoral approach. So my strategy here is to try an antegrade method. There are collaterals from the right coronary artery which is diffusely diseased, and there are other collaterals from the first septal from the LED, and there is another collateral from the OM2. So my strategy is to try the antegrade method with stepwise approach, upgrading the wiring, and if it is not feasible, go through the one of the collaterals, preferably the first septal collateral, with the second guiding catheter in the same side, with 2 7 French guidings in the left main, a retrograde approach. So with a reverse cart technique. This is the approach what I prefer. Then the right femoral approach, here you can see the 7 French EVU engaging the left main, which appears very big. It's a very pouchy left main, and the circumflex is a big artery. After the OM1 and OM2, after OM3, the distal circumflex becoming the OM4, which is totally occluded here. Must be of chronic duration and a very hard feeling when we are approaching the lesion. And you can see here with the Corsair support, a 135 Corsair is support catheter. We have taken a ultimate bros wire is equivalent to a Miracle 3, and now you can see the Corsair with the ultimate brothers Miracle 3 equivalent wire, but it's very difficult, tough resistance here. I'm not able to cross the lesion. So we exchanged this wire. Now the Corsair exactly the tip of the CTO. Another important interesting point is when negotiating the Corsair acute at the acute bends between left main and circumflex, and at the distal end of the circumflex, it is better to use a floppy wire and go to the tip of the proximal cap with the Corsair, then exchange the wires. This is very important step in any CTO intervention. We see in the cranial views, you can see the first septal giving the collaterals, but it's a very pretty long segment disease. This also indicates we have to profile the CTO segment in different views. In the caudal views, the length of the segment appears short, not like it is a very long segment CTO in the cranial views. The pretty long segment of the CTO segment here in the cranial view. So assessment of the CTO to be done in different views. Now we used a Miracle 12 wire here. Miracle 12 wire almost reached the distal segment, but there is an acute bend. There is an acute bend, and the wire is giving resistance. The lesion is giving resistance. So I assessed in the cranial view. Closely watch. It appears in the true lumen other view, but here it is in the distal. It is not in the true lumen. That's why I'm feeling the resistance. If you feel resistance with these wires, never force. They're all stiff wires. Some of them are very slippery, can go subintimally long distance. So be careful and see it in different oblique views, and see this. It is not in the true lumen at the distal end. Now, we prefer a parallel wire technique. In any anti-grade approach, difficult wiring, keep the wire there. This is a conquest flow. You take a more stiffer wire for the parallel wire technique, and the conquest wire, parallel wire is used here. And even after, I did find difficulty in crossing the lesion. Okay, go back. Go back. Go back. Okay. When we use the parallel wire technique, I have taken out the Corsia with a balloon trap technique, and put two wires parallelly. We can also use the parallel wire technique with the microcatheter support on both catheters, which is ideal. If you use parallel wire technique with the microcatheters on both wires, it is more advantageous to use a seesaw technique. Next.
Okay, sir, please continue.
Now, the more advanced the wires are the Fielder XT wires. These are the wires having a long polymer jacket, and tip penetration stiffness is more than the regular Fielder XT wires, and this wire is very useful in this type of situation. Ideally, we should pass it as a parallel wire technique, but in this case, we use it as a single wire as there is not much space there. So with the Corsia support, again I crossed the lesion with the Fielder XT wire, and you see so here you can see there is an acute bend here. The Fielder XT wire could cross the acute bend into the true lumen, which is a diseased but it's a true lumen filling from one of the collaterals from the septal 1 and the OM. Whenever the wire movement is like this, whenever the wire tip is like this, never force. Very important. You find the injection from the contralateral side or ipsilateral, put it wire in the true lumen, because these wires at the distal tip can cause perforations. So be careful about that. Now this is very interesting. You see, we got a lot of collaterals on the septal 1 and the, as I explained. Here, the wire tip of the Fielder XT is upward band, which is not good. So I have to straighten it up looking at the collateral, which is the collateral coming here. You can see septal 1 collateral coming here and feeding this vessel. And so the wire has been straightened up to the true lumen. We're taking advantage of this. Now exactly, here what I have done is the wire is now it is in the true lumen. So then most important thing is to exchange the wire for a softer wire. You can see the wire now in the true lumen. It is in the true lumen here, and you have to exchange for a we tried different we tried low profile balloons 1 into 10 sapphire and other low profile balloons, but finally we could cross with a 1.2 into 10 Rontis CTO balloon, which I find it very useful in this case, and we could cross the lesion, and a serial dilatation is done with higher balloons, 2 mm, 1.25, 1.5, 2 millimeter balloon, serial dilatation done. The flow is established here. Surprisingly, diseased vessel distally, but we are in the true lumen. So we have to exchange for a softer wire here. We are here pulling out the filter XTA wire and putting the BMW wire. Exactly. Now we pulled out, if you observe, we pulled out the BMW captain, they pulled out the filler XT here, which is very important step in any CTO intervention, not to set the devices in these hydrophilic and taper tip or stiff wires. Now we can profile in the cranial view nicely the long segment CTO. You can see here. Here is the segment of the CTO segment, it's the bend and the diffuse diseased vessel, and we have gone for a drug-eluting stent of 2.25 into 28, which is placed across the lesion, and not jailing the side bench also here, very important, a big side bench, and we cross place it. You can see the DES across the lesion, and we checked in different views. Finally, we deployed the stent at 14 atmospheres pressure and appear to have a good position, and this is the flow established in the CTO. Now you can see the CTO segment is stented with side branch well preserved and the BMW wire here. You can also see the lesion in the cranial view, some spasm, we given nitroglycerin, and usually it takes time for the distal lumen to grow in size because it is a chronic CTO, chronic lesion, total occlusion for long duration. Naturally, the remodeling will come and the size of the vessel is supposed to grow over a period. So this is the long segment CTO and this vessel. We have given a high pressure dilatation with a 2.5 balloon at the proximal end, and finally we could achieve a TIMI3 flow in the vessel. So you can see the long segment CTO and little diseased vessel OM3, and some collateral still are there from there, but it is mainly the antegrade flow. Thank you, my colleagues, for attending the IJCTO in Renaissance Hotel in Mumbai this year and making it a big success. And our continuous effort to share with you all the CTO interventions in India will be there for the next coming years. Part of this is one case where I have done recently the circumflex distal CTO at an acute bend. So there is always a difficulty in doing CTO interventions in circumflex, particularly out of all the three territories, particularly in distal circumflex with acute bends is always difficult, which has been done as an antegrade technique, and failing the antegrade, the retrograde technique is kept as an option through two guiding catheters in the left main. But fortunately we could finish the case with the advanced hardware antegrade.